Hello, hello. Welcome to Top Shelf Reviews Distillery Drink Through. For the first time in this series, we will be highlighting the Distillarium coming out of Yakima, Washington. I saw a video probably a couple months ago where somebody claimed to drink through all of their products, but I feel like I have a lot more than what they showcased, and now I can't find the video. So we'll have to make our own here. We are going to start from the lower proof to the higher. I'm not going to dive into a lot of detail on each one, but I'm going to give you my general tasting notes and then try to come up with some sort of order as to my favorites. Quick run through of what we got since I showcased it in another video, and I have a bottle. We have the Distillarium. I want to say this is their 5-year brandy. This is an American brandy. Yep, coming in 5 years old. This is bottled at 80 proof. It is batch 1. We have coming in at 86 proof their straight bourbon whiskey. This is the 4-year version. Next up we have the first bottle I got from them. This is the straight Triticale whiskey. This is coming in at 88 proof. And the age statement on it, I don't know that it has one. Next up we have their rye. This is coming in at 90 proof. And I believe this is 3 years old at least. And we have their kind of standard bourbon. This one is 3 years old, coming in at 92 proof. Next up I picked up a single barrel of their bourbon, coming in at 4 years old. This one is 96 proof. Then we get into their cask strength series. These are all 116 proof. We have Cask and Spin. This is their Triticale whiskey. We have Cask and Slide, which is their bourbon whiskey. And finally we have No Man's Whiskey. This is their cask strength rye whiskey. So I've pre-poured and labeled all of these. So we will work our way through. Hopefully do it quick enough that the effects don't catch up with me before the video is over. I do have my water. And about the only snack I could find in the house was popcorn. Seemed like a good palate cleanser. If I need it, let's get started with that 5-year-old brandy. So the Distillarium likes to use a lot of local grains in all of their products. So stuff from the Northwest, but a lot of times specific to Washington when they can. Obviously the brandy is made from grapes or like a wine. Super fruity nose, very sweet, definitely, you know, cognac brandy vibes. Smooth, approachable, just about no burn. My wife actually likes this and she is not a drinker. I cook with brandy more than I drink it, but this is an easy sipping, fairly decent price brandy. So if you're looking for one, you can find this in the area, maybe worth picking up. All right, next up, we have the 4-year-old straight bourbon. It's one of my more recent additions. A very sweet and fruity note initially there, but then a little bit ahead of ethanol. A little dusty on the nose. Not quite as sweet on the palate, but really nice. A little bit of fruitiness in there. I want to say like a green apple, maybe like a nectarine. No, those aren't necessarily like each other, but I taste both. Honeysuckle. That is a really nice bourbon. That 4-year, I feel like definitely a little tastier than the standard 3-year offering. Now we have the Triticale whiskey. So I've heard the Triticale grain is supposed to be kind of a blend between like a wheat flavor and a rye. So a little bit of the wheat softness with a little bit of the rice spice. That's how I understand it. Definitely a little less sweet on the nose, but not quite the full like wheat or funk. Soft, approachable, kind of a lingering richness to it. I mean, you could convince me it was a bourbon. A little bit of a higher rye bourbon with that spice on the end there. But different enough. This is one I like to have on hand just to kind of show folks how different grains can be. So kind of a fun little taste experiment there. Next up we have the rye. A little bit of an ethanol and almost like a Sharpie note on the nose there. So this is a double distilled, no less than 3 years old. Definitely a more mild palate than I was expecting. The nose made me think it would be a little punchy. That kind of anisey note is there, but it's like in the background on the nose. Yeah, I mean, to me it drinks a little better than it smells, but definitely a semi-traditional rye. Be curious what the mash bill is. I would definitely think it's higher rye. You don't get that sweetness kind of bourbon vibe like some of like the Old Foresters and the Barely Legals give you. Definitely a good rye though. All right, now we have their 3-year bourbon. I want to say that's kind of their standard bourbon offering. We're jumping up in proof a tiny bit here. Caramel, kind of vanilla, classic bourbon nose. There's some fruitiness in there, not nearly as much as that 4-year. Definitely a little dustier on the palate. And I feel like there's like a warm sensation, wouldn't necessarily call it burning, but the finish just kind of disappears quickly and you're just left with that kind of warm palate sensation. Yeah, I mean, goes down easy, but kind of lacking on the palate and the nose, to be honest with you. All right, a rather recent addition was this single barrel. I've gotten a lot of these at a like tiny little grocery store in Goldendale, Washington, which is less than an hour from Yakima. Seems like every time I walk in there, they've got some new offering from them. The Distillarium did just release a 5-year series. A little birdie may have let me try the 5-year bourbon. So I thought I better film this video before they release 3 more whiskeys. And then I like can't fit them on the table. And then my liver and my wallet. So far, this might be the best nose out of all of these. Super fruity, sweet, almost like a, what are those Mother's, like circus cookies? Animal cookies. Animal crackers? The frosted ones, though. That's a really nice nose. This one is 4 years old, a little higher proof than the standard 4-year offering there, and a single barrel, obviously. Still double distilled. I mean, to me, it doesn't drink any hotter than the other. I mean, we're still only talking, I think, 96 proof here. Yep. But yeah, kind of a caramel sweetness, like a vanilla cream. That is really, really nice. I like that one quite a bit. Okay, now we're getting into the cask strength stuff. Starting with the triticale, the cask and spin. Fruit on the nose, kind of a lingering spice, like fresh melon, and like an apple pie that came out of the oven an hour ago. Dutch apple pie though, it's got like a streusel top. Ooh, kind of warm and spicy in the initial sip there. Get your vanilla, your caramel. I mean, the oak is there. I want to say these are 4 years old. Yep, 4 years old. But that is really approachable. For 116 proof, it doesn't drink like it. Yeah, I really, really like that one. That one is really good. Next up, we have Cask and Slide, the bourbon for your small batch, coming in at 116 proof. Ooh, got a little too in there, a little hit of ethanol. Kind of vague sweetness, sweetgrass, honeysuckle. A lot more savory than I would have expected. Kind of those leather and earthy notes. A little bit of that Kentucky hug there going down. But at least the finish, like you do get some lingering flavor there. Kind of dusty oak. Almost gives me like library vibes. Yeah, I think you could pick this out as a bourbon, but nothing crazy stands out from that. I do think I like the single barrel 4-year-old a little bit better. And the final one here, we have the No Man's Whiskey. This is the cask strength rye. I want to say it is also 4 years. It's the first of the cask strengths I got from them. Much more dramatic nose than their standard rye. Sweetgrass, a little bit of rye bread, like somebody across the table is eating a rye bread sandwich, Reuben or something. But fruity, like really fruity and kind of sweet. Buttered bread, like sourdough, not necessarily rye. And the rye kind of shows up in the finish. Yeah, I definitely think you could pick this out as a rye. Definitely has that anise, kind of spicier note. That is a fantastic rye. Definitely like it much more than their standard offering. I would be curious what a 4-year non-cask strength might taste from them. Okay, give me a few minutes here to do some more tasting. We'll see if we can come up with some sort of order as to least favorite to most favorite. Okay, I think I have our rankings. So the brandy, not really ranked because obviously it's aged to perfection and not in the whiskey category, but fantastic, worth picking up if you want a good, especially local to the Northwest made brandy. My least favorite of the whiskeys would be their standard bourbon offering. So they're three-year-old 92 proof. Not saying it's bad, just my least favorite of the bunch. Next up we have their standard rye offering. Again, this guy is coming in around 3 years old and 90 proof. Pardon me. Next up we have the Cask and Slide, which is their 4-year-old cask strength bourbon, coming in at 116 proof. Followed closely by their straight triticale whiskey. This is a fantastic offering there. Next up, top 4 here, we have No Man's Whiskey. That is our cask strength rye offering. Kind of a close battle between that and their 4-year-old bourbon whiskey, coming in 3rd place. That is a really delicious pour. 2nd place was their single barrel 4-year-old whiskey. Just a little more fruity, a little more approachable. Definitely glad I picked that bottle up. Just so you know, this is bottle 154, barrel 18-0122, coming in at 96 proof. So kind of the 4-year just amplified slightly. This one is coming in at 86 proof, so that makes sense. And then my favorite, that is the Cask and Spin. That is our cask strength straight triticale whiskey, coming in at 116 proof, 4 years old. That is just so different, fruity, approachable, definitely a fantastic pour. To me, it would be kind of hard to pin down as to what kind of whiskey it is, because it is so different, because it's not a bourbon, not a rye, but really approachable. Doesn't drink nearly as hot as the 116 would lead you to believe. Yeah, definitely a good whiskey. So all of these are delicious. Price points do vary. Their cask strength series are oddly affordable, I would say. Have probably paid about as much for the single barrels or the 4-year versions. These guys I got from their website. Want to say they were close to 60, but I've had 9 different alcohols here, so don't hold me to it. But they definitely make some fantastic products. Hopefully here this summer I will get over to Yakima to actually give them a visit and check out the whole operation. With any luck, I'll film a video while I'm out there. So, thank you to all of you for watching this. Hopefully it's actually watchable. And look forward to the next drink through. Not sure what distillery it will be, but it will probably be a whole bunch of bottles there as well. For more information on the whiskeys you see on this channel, visit topshelfbackpacking.com. And until I see you again, cheers.